Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Dear students, today I am teaching you desalting and concentration. As we have started the protein purification strategies that was based on the differential solubility. That is, our last topic was differential solubility. Differential solubility then followed by the ion exchange chromatography. Ion exchange chromatography criteria for the ion exchange chromatography is that your desired protein must be at low ionic strength, that is means a low ionic strength means salt free proteins, and that is why for the successful ion exchange chromatography protein must be desalted. So what is meant by desalting? Desalting is the removal of salt from protein solution, and for that purpose, as for the desalting, we have a lot of methods for the desalting of our desired protein. These methods are like dilution method, dialysis method, fiber filter dialysis method, gel filtration, ultrafiltration method, and dialysis against polyethylene glycol. So these are the different methods which are used for the purpose of desalting. So any one which is feasible or which is easily available in the lab, we will use. First method is the dilution method. That is the simple dilution method and very old and simplest method, in which we take the protein solution and add the buffer of low ionic strength and definite pH. Low ionic strength means we will take the buffer that having the low ion salt concentration, and this protein solution will be diluted. So preferably this method, dilution method, is used for the when we are using the cellulosic ion exchange resin, in which which having the high flow rate and which the sample size has no effect, because in the dilution method you know better that protein solution will be diluted but the volume will be also increased. That is why we use this dilution method for the cellulosic ion exchange resin, where the volume size of the sample is no effect and high flow and having the high flow rate. Second method is the dialysis method. Dialysis method is that method in which we use the semi-permeable membrane, dialyzing membrane, and that semi-permeable membrane is made up of cellulosic cellophane material. This semi-permeable membrane we take, that is just like a tube. This semi-permeable membrane having just like these are the opening. We take the protein solution in this dialyzing tube, and then we close the ends of both the ends of the dialyzing tube. This dialyzing tube having the protein solution of high ionic strength, that protein solution that we are going to desalt. So this dialyzing membrane that is made up of cellulosic cellophane material is semi-permeable, and it allows the remove the salt 1000 to 5000 daltons molecular weight materials like salt, metabolites, coenzymes, FAD, ATP. It means that if your protein solution having salt as well as these metabolites, coenzymes, FAD or ATP, that will also be removed by using this technique. So in this technique we take the protein solution in the dialyzing tube. Both the ends of the dialyzing tubes will be sealed, and then this dialyzing tube will be hanged into a container that is containing the buffer solution, and that buffer solution is low ionic strength and definite pH. So the if whenever we use the new dialyzing tube, this new dialyzing tube contaminated with the heavy metal ions plus protease and nuclease. So first of all, if you are going to use the new dialyzing tube, then this new dialyzing tube will be boiled with 0.5 molar EDTA in order to remove these nuclease, protease or heavy metal ions from the dialyzing tube, then followed by the washing with the distilled water. Here overnight you will place the dialyzing tube along with the protein solution that will be hanged into the container that containing the buffer solution, and that buffer solution you will change after 6 hours 2 to 3 times. It means that first you will when your buffer will be contaminated with these salts, metabolites, coenzyme, FAD, ATP, then remove the buffer with the fresh buffer, and you will change the buffer 2 to 3 times. In this way all the salts or metabolites or coenzyme, FAD or ATP will be removed from your desired protein, and your desired protein becomes desalted. Second method, third method of the desalting of your desired protein is the fiber filter dialysate method. That is the most recent method, and by using this method your protein, desired protein, is 99% desalted. So that is the one of the best method for the desalt of your desired protein. In this method the membranes which are used for the desalting of the desired protein, these membranes are manufactured in the form of hollow tubes fiber, like this hollow tubes fiber, and these membranes are made up of two material. Either they are made up of non-cellulosic polyelectrolytic complex. These are available in the market under the trade name of dia fiber, and second these membranes are either made up of cellulose acetate material, and these membranes are available in the market under the trade name of biofiber. So you will purchase these membranes either with the name of diafiber or biofiber. So these membranes are number of such tubes are placed side by side. Very rapid method. This method is very rapid. So these membranes are placed in the form of hollow tubes or fiber. That is why the name is fiber filter dialysis method. So this method is quite different from the dialysis method. Here you take the buffer in these tubes, other than the whereas in the dialysis you take the protein solution in the membranes. Here you take the buffer solution in these membranes, and where these membranes are hangs into the container that is containing the protein solution that you are going to desalt. So automatically these membranes are the semi-permeable membranes, so all the salts, metabolites or FAD, ATP are comes in from protein comes into the these membranes, whereas water comes outside these membrane from the buffer. Water will so this method is very rapid method, and about 99% becomes desalted by using this method. So here you can also replace the buffer from these tubes 2 to 3 times, or once your protein becomes 99%. This is very effective and very rapid method. Though the next method is the dialysis against polyethylene glycol. This method is dual method. This method is not only used for the desalting, it is also used for the concentration of your desired protein, because after desalting the protein becomes diluted. So we must use the different methods to concentrate our desired protein, because the desalt protein is having low activity and the concentrated protein becomes highly active. So the dialysis against polyethylene glycol, this method only concentrate the protein, not salt or other small molecules. So the protein solution is taken, and these polyethylene glycol tubes are highly coiled narrow tubes, effective surface area. So greater will be the coiling, greater will be the effective surface area. So the protein solution is placed in these hollow tubes, like you see here, at 4 degrees centigrade. So you will maintain the temperature at 4 degrees centigrade. These hollow tubes are made up of cellulosic material, and these are semi permeable membranes. So protein solution is placed here, and this protein solution will be these tubes will be placed in the container that is filled with the dry polyethylene glycol at 4 degrees centigrade. And this all the moisture from the protein solution will becomes out, and this dry polyethylene glycol, after some time this becomes moist, then replace it. So we will replace 2 to 3 times with dry polyethylene glycol in order to remove all the water from the protein solution as well as salt from the protein solution. Next method is the ultrafiltration method. Ultrafiltration method is one of the most advanced and method that is not only used for the desalting but also for the concentration of the protein. Means a dual method. It desalt protein as well as it concentrate our desired protein. So the assembly of the ultrafiltration, as you see in the picture, this assembly is made up of a cell, that cell that having the protein solution, and at the base of the cell is the sintered glass. Ultrafiltration membrane is also placed in the bottom of the cell, ultrafiltration cell. This ultrafiltration cell is also containing the magnetic stirrer, and that the temperature you will be set at 4 degrees centigrade. Here at the upper side of the ultrafiltration cell, you will apply the nitrogen pressure at 10 to 30 psi. Psi means per square inch. This whole assembly is placed on the magnetic stirrer. So when the protein solution, this magnetic stirrer will be continuously vibrated, or we can say moved, and it will remove all the salt and water from the protein through this ultrafiltrate end. All the proteins, you know that here in the bottom of the ultrafiltration cell we have placed the ultrafiltration membrane, and this membrane can pass only salt and water from the protein, not protein. So the proteins remains on the surface of the ultrafiltration membrane that will be separated. Protein will be separated from this ultrafiltration membrane that becomes desalt as well as concentrate. Next method for the desalting purpose is the gel filtration method. Gel filtration method, I will taught you the gel filtration full chromatographic technique. Here only this will be used for the desalting purpose. So for the desalting purpose you will use the Cefadex G25, the trade name of dextrane gel. So the dextrane gel is available in the bead-like structure or sponge, and these beads having the pore, it will also, these bead-like structures are like the porous ball, you know that having the pores on each side of the ball. So these pores are available in various sizes. So this G25 means that this gel having the pore size, it will remove the molecules 1000 to 5000 daltons, like salts and other small materials like metabolites, NAD, FAD or other ATP, etc., that you are going to remove from your protein solution. So we will pack the column with Cefadex G25, this having the bead like structure, and we place the protein solution that is along with the salt. So the here inner volume of the gel is denoted as Vi. Upper outsider volume of the gel bead is denoted as V naught or void volume, and first of all you will place a porous disc in the column, and then you you pack the column with Cefadex G25, and after packing the column you will place the protein that you are going to desalt. So you know that as we start the column, all the salt particles, as they having 1000 to 5000 rate, they will be enter into the gel beads, whereas protein that having the more molecular weight high than the salt, they will not enter into the gel beads. They will comes outside the gel beads, that is through the wide volume, and these protein will be eluted first. And as we see, high molecular weight protein will be eluted first, and then after last several time after, the salt molecules which are enter into the gel beads, they will enter from one gel bead into the other there, and then they will be eluted at last. So in this way we will desalt our desired protein. We will collect the protein from this test tube to this, and this protein will be desalted. You know that salt will be here, that is eluted last. So this is a method for the desalting of the protein. Another method for the desalting of the protein, so these are the different methods which are used for the desalting purpose. Now after desalting, as I have already told you, that after desalting the protein becomes diluted. So in order to increase its activity, we must concentrate our protein. So we have the different concentration methods for the protein. These are the lab techniques. So we having the different methods for the concentration of our desired protein, like by using ammonium sulfate salt, lyophilization, ultrafiltration, and Centicone methods. By salt, by ammonium sulfate salt, although this is the very cheap method and very easy method, but in this case the protein, although your protein, desired protein, becomes concentrated, but it again is contaminated with salts. So these salts will be removed by dialysis against this polyethylene glycol, as I have already early told you. Next method for the concentration of the protein is the lyophilization method. Lyophilization is one of the important method. By using this, you can make the dry milk or skim milk that are prepared by lyophilization method. So the another name of the lyophilization method is the freeze drying method. In the freeze drying method, the protein are quickly frozen when the protein solution is combined with solid carbon dioxide or dry ice. The proteins are quickly frozen on the inner walls of the round bottom flask, and this round bottom flask at low temperature and under high vacuum, the mixture is allowed to dryness. So the under the round bottom flask, the protein will be solidified or dry. Water is evaporated in the frozen state under high vacuum, and that is leaving the protein in the powder form. Lyophilized, that protein which is present in the round bottom flask, under the walls of the round bottom flask, here protein that is solidified, that protein is called the lyophilized protein, and this lyophilized protein is more stable at room temperature for long time. So it means that in this way we can preserve our desired protein for a long time. So whenever this protein is required, powder protein will be dissolved in the buffer in the required volume, and concentrated protein you will got you for the further experiments. Disadvantage of this technique, lyophilization technique, is that both protein plus salts are solidified. So before lyophilization, you can desalt your desired protein in order to overcome this problem. So the next is the Santikon centrifuge method. Santikon centrifuge method. In this method, we use the column, very small column. You know that just like a pen, this column is also called the pen. Like you use the marker on the board. The size of the column is just like a marker you use for the board. So this column having the conical end, and this column having the filter here. Here is the filter. You take the protein solution here. So this method is preferably used when your desired protein solution is 1 to 5 ml. You having the 1 to 5 ml. So for that purpose, for small volume of the protein, when you are going to concentrate this small volume, you use the Santikon centrifuge method. So here you take the protein solution, and this column is placed in the rotor of the centrifuge. Centrifuge is the centrifugal force, where the centrifugal force is applied. That is when we placed this Santikon into the centrifuge rotor, and we will apply the RPM, that is the revolution per minute. All the salt, all the protein, all the water will becomes through this filter into this conical site, and your protein becomes concentrate here. As we use rotor here, centrifuge here, that is why the name is the Santikon centrifuge method. And other concentration, this method is ultrafiltration method. I have already taught to you, and lyophilize, and second was the for the concentration of the protein is the dialysis against the polyethylene glycol. That is another method for the concentration of the protein that we already studied. So that is the end, guys. If you have any sort of question about the lecture, kindly ask